Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here, hope you're well. In this lesson, we are going to start using the Bezier Curves tool, which is this pen tool over here, and where it's above the pen tool. And what we're going to do is start to create some paths and some lines and some shapes. And we've got a character here that has 4 parts to it. So we're going to learn how to create the teeth with a simple jagged line. Then we're going to use the node editor, which is here at the top. So we're going to edit the paths with nodes. So when we create this path through here, we have to sort of pull the nodes apart. And what that will do is allow the jagged lines to bend. And then we're going to go and put the mouth together. And then what I've done is number 4 is for you to go and put them all together into a new layer. So we're going to continue with using layers. We're going to have 4 layers in total. I've locked the layer for your file here. You can unlock it if you want on your computer. So the first job I'm going to do is go and make a new layer. I'm going to call this teeth. And I'm going to go and get my Bezier tool here, and then I'm going to zoom in. So you can see what I'm doing in the keyboard window. I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to zoom in here with my mouse wheel. I'm going to click my mouse wheel in and just pull the canvas down a bit so I can see the teeth in this whole window. And then what I'm going to do is just in my layer here, making sure that my pen intro layer is locked. I'm just going to go and click to each number, to each circle, and then back to the beginning where that square is. You can see it's highlighted red now, and then I'm going to double click on that. So what I want to do now is continue to edit this, and I just want to change the stroke of this. So the stroke is already open on my computer here, and you just remember that it's down here if you want to go into your edit your styles. To be able to do this, it's still in the pen, the Bezier mode. So what I need to do is go into my selection here. Just select on it, just click on it, and now you're able to edit it. And you can see that this is lit up. So I'm going to go and change my, so it matches something similar to the size. So it's quite a fat line. There's about 30 pixels-ish, 35 pixels. I'm going to leave that like that because I'm going to change it into white later. Well, you are going to change it into white later. But just so that I can see it on the background, I can keep it here and move it down to my, or copy and paste it into my alien character down here. So next job, I'm going to go and make a new layer. And this time I'm going to go into antenna. I'm going to call it antenna into here. Then I'm going to lock my teeth. So I can't edit this by accident. Go into my Bezier tool. This time do the same thing again. I'm going to do it a bit slowly. When you play the game with the Bezier method before, when you play that game, it's really difficult. You had to pull the nodes around. In here, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to zoom in into here. And I'm going to click onto the circles, again, the numbers. And then just double click at the end on number 6. And what this is going to do now is going to give me my path. I'm going to go to my edit my path here, which is just underneath the selection. So I'm going to go and edit paths by nodes. And then I'm going to go to number 2. Now I need to zoom in quite a lot here. I'm going to show you how this is going to work. Because I need to use Shift. So if you look at my keyboard, I'm going to hold down Shift. And as I hold down Shift, there is a handle that pulls out from that square. And it allows me now to go and bend this line. So there's going to be a little bit of trial and error for you here if you're doing this for the first time, because what this is going to mean is that you can see that I've got quite a way to go there, and you can also see that it creates a little bit of a, I suppose, a hinge on your nodes here. But you'll notice that as you start to pull them around into the right area, you'll notice that they all automatically will bend nicely. So you can just see that I'm very slowly just pulling these around with my finger still on shift. You can still see that my finger is still on shift. So I'm going to go into here now. I'm going to pull this out so that I keep this nice and smooth. I'm going to pull this back out. And you can see that I'm just going backwards and forwards to each one. And very slowly bending this around. I'd like to keep that as smooth as possible without creating some kind of hinge effect. It doesn't look very nice, really. I'm going to just roll up using my mouse wheel. And you'll notice that the jaggy lines move around. Now I can move this around. I can just take my finger off. So I've taken my finger off the keyboard now, and I'm just moving this around here. And I'm just going to go and pull this around. It will try and snap. You'll see it says cusp node to cusp node. So I'm just going to go and continue to move this. Just to make sure that it's just trying not to snap on that cusp node there. Pull this in a little bit. And then what I want to do is I want to go into my stroke and create this nice and fat. I will probably want to edit that one because it's not particularly great. And if I just pull this one back out of here. There we go. Nice. Okay. So into my selection here. Make sure that this is, I think it's about 35 before, wasn't it? Yeah, about 35. Good. I'm going to zoom out, hold down Control and zoom out. And then I'm going to do the same for this. And what I'm going to do now is just have a look at these. Because even though they've got square ends, I think it might be nice if they had a rounded cap to them. So when I click on this, it's just going to change that to a nice smoother cap. And that's going to be handy for when we come to do our hair and our characters later on. So I'm going to leave that like that. And I'm going to make another layer maybe, or I'm going to continue drawing in here and have my both antennas. If I had another layer, I could move this antenna down here onto this side and have a separate antenna for my alien here. So I'm going to pause now and allow you to go into number 3, and you can see that I've left some guides here for your anchors. I think they're called anchors. And so these nodes here, they are at different points. So we've got some different bends and straights and flats and what have you. And then what I'd like you to do is, if I just move my canvas out of the way, is you've got an example here of what the fill and stroke would look like. So your fill and stroke is just a simple line. This one's got fill, and this one's got fill and stroke of white, or it's got a transparent stroke on it. So this is what I'd like you to end up with in new layers, remembering to lock these, and then you can hand them back into me later on. Right, Year 6, as always, good luck.